As previously mentioned, I could go Z, but I think what is a better idea is to probably just directly import my FBX from the project that I was working on, just to make sure I don't kind of confuse things a bit, and maybe grab a mesh that has, because ZBrush 2, it deals with UVs very oddly. They're flipped upside down, so meaning up is down, down is up. Again, very strange, but it's the way the software works. So I'm just going to locate my project folder. There we go. So I will import the low poly FBX. There it is. For the material, typically what I like to do, I'm going to just make sure as well I have, I'll set this to AI standard surface. For the color, I'm going to click on the little checker box, go to File, click on the folder icon, and then, by the way, if you want to make your life easy, just go to File, Set Project. Let me go back into this folder. My models, 2019. I'll say yes, set. Say create default workspace, and then go to Project, File, Project Window, and then make sure you hit Accept. This will basically create all the subfolders. So now if I pop back in here, let's go to View, List. There we go. These are the source images I created, so that's all there, I believe. So now if I go into the model, right, go to select a texture map, it should hopefully, let me just go back and make sure I've set the project at the right location. Set project in here, set, there we go. So now it should find, right, base color, boom, right there, open it up, hit 6 on your keyboard so you can see it. Very nice, right? I'll go to roughness, or the color I should say for the roughness. Go to File, select the roughness here, open. For metalness, you can also plug this in. I find sometimes I wind up turning it off. I find it can be a bit challenging to control, but metallic, there we go. The other thing I do like to do, it's sort of not optimal, but you can go to Arnold, create basically an HDR or a sky dome, and then I'll use something like, there's ambient CG and there's also Polyhaven. I find Polyhaven is a little bit better for some of these like texture maps for HDR. So basically what that does is it's an image-based, high dynamic range image-based lighting. So I can do either something that maybe matches the lighting environment, and this is good for something like look dev. A good bright sunny image is probably better than something very dark and contrasty. So I'm going to go with 1K. That's all I really need for that map, and I'll hit download. Again, I'll cut this and paste it into my source images, just so it's again right in my project folder, easy to grab, easy to set up. So for the color, I'll click on the checker box, go to File. There is the sunny HDR. And I like to kind of just switch my viewport to Arnold. Now you do need a graphics card good enough to support that. So if you're not sure, the best thing to do is to just basically leave your viewport as is and open up what's called an IPR. Sorry, let me hit escape for a second and hit IPR. So yeah, here's the preview render. Again, it's quite dark, like I said, with the metalness loaded in. So you can either add an adjustment to this, or a lot of times I'll just kind of break it out for now and see what it looks like. Let's see, roughness. Turn down the roughness. It looks like, yeah, it's also like very high angle lighting. So I might just either take the environment and rotate around. Sometimes it's just not the right HDR, so I think I'll go with something. Usually what I will use typically is if you just type in Studio under the Polyhaven search. Sorry, let me go back here. HDRIs, and then I'll just type in, where's the search? Oh, there we go. Search, Studio. These I find work pretty good. So I'll download that just so I can get maybe a bit more even lighting. There we go. Okay, so I'll swap that out and there we go, Studio. If the exposure seems low, by the way, you can always just click on that background and hit the exposure button and kind of bump it up a bit. I might also just increase my kind of resolution, render resolution a bit. I find square in this case, because it's kind of a square prop, a 2K square is probably pretty good. So currently we don't see the normal map. It's not loaded, right? That's one factor in this. So select the mesh and go back to AI standard. I'll go to geometry, bump map, click on the file texture, set this as the tangent space, and then click on this bump value connector. And click on the folder icon, and I will load the normal. And then we should suddenly see, right, all the detail kind of pop in, pop up. It'll take a moment. You may want to stop the render for a second and then try it again. Okay, so yeah, I've used this Modit tool to basically load in this backdrop. I'll just start it again. I realized I wasn't recording. Yeah, so I'll hit the backdrop icon in Modit. So it's just a little kind of like texture sphere here, and then there's this icon over here. And then when you hit your IPR, it really gives you a great result. And yeah, you can basically adjust, let's say, the exposure of your HDR. I do prefer to actually boost the lights themselves. I find HDR often washes out details, so it's actually better to have some lights. And this thing does have basically 2 additional lights. So you can increase the intensity of, let's say, one light, have maybe a more dramatic key light, or set up a 3-point lighting system. I'll show you one additional system that I do like to use, so I'll just delete that. This is another toolkit called, oh, I don't have it installed, unfortunately, but there's a really great software called Zoo Tools. I'll just mention that as well. Zoo Tools for Maya. I think it's subscription based. Yeah, you pay like something like 10, 20 bucks a month. And what's great about it, it has tons of rigging tools, tons of other tools in it. But what I really enjoy is that for lighting and rendering, it basically has a whole bunch of light presets. So literally you go in and you can kind of click on a lighting scenario that you like, and it loads the lights for you. One click, boom, done. You don't have to mess around with like setting up a 3-point lighting system, okay? So HDRs are good. Setting up an actual 3-point system is better. And the best, of course, is like having a good kind of quick script or automated system. And that way you get, you know, very, very nice kind of portfolio level renders, right? So again, I'll bump the intensity of these things maybe up to like 0.7. Even 1.0, yeah, I'll try that for the key, let's say. Okay.